Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, as human beings, we all are every day struggling to find the happiness and satisfaction within ourselves. So, this through happiness and through satisfaction, not going to arise out of the sensual pleasures. This sensual pleasures is kind of like an ocean. Only thing you have to do, you have to maintain it. Maintaining your sensual organs or the pleasures or the department or looking for satisfaction through it, two different things. So when you maintain it, that is what called discipline. So why you have to be disciplined? So the discipline come out of when you trying to experience something, or when you have a purpose to achieve, for that you have to discipline. So the discipline always come out of that your practice. So what you practice, for that practice you need discipline. It's discipline going to become different. Just becoming discipline itself doesn't mean you're going to be good. So you have to look why you have to be good. Even looking for satisfaction, why you want to be satisfied. And then it helps you to see where you are in the moment, in this life map. And then you recognize why you are not happy, not satisfied. So from that point, why you are not satisfied or why you are not happy, once you recognize that, from there to reach to what you want to be, that where you want to find the happiness, to go to that way, you have to maintain your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind according to different protocol, according to different ethics. So when it comes to wisdom, when you look for the development of, or the understanding of your life, according to that, the way you have to be disciplined completely different. Prisoners also discipline. And the people in according to, even in the hospital, look, they don't do much thing. They are well disciplined. So then when it comes to this discipline idea, actually disciple, so the student, whoever studied, and need to be disciplined. And just becoming good doesn't make any sense to end the sansar. It's not going to happen. Just imagine that everybody discipline themselves. For what? Where I take? Because the terrorists are more disciplined than the religious people. Drug dealers and all other, the smugglers, thieves, they are more disciplined than ordinary people in the surface level of, if you take the discipline as a kind of like a maintaining your body. But when it comes to wisdom, the discipline, when it comes to your inner peace, understanding, clarity regarding that when you go towards that way, when you become disciplined means it is something else. Not doing something doesn't make you are disciplined. You have to go deeper and see why you not doing it. If anything related with the greed, hatred, or the delusion or the self-centered mind, and maybe with your physical and mental and verbal action, you don't do certain behavior, that doesn't mean you are disciplined. So then, where the discipline should take you? Discipline should take you to the reality. Because when you able to experience the reality, out of that experience, the whatever your bodily or verbally or mentally actions, never going to do harm to yourself or never going to do harm to others. But if you develop kind of or bodily, verbally or mentally action or discipline yourself, move away from the reality, and then anytime you can do any kind of worse thing to hurt yourself and even to hurt others. So then remember yourself, when you say I don't do this, look why you don't do that. Question yourself. Is it trying to take you to the reality or the dharma or the true nature, or is it trying to take you away from it? So the mostly in day-to-day life, our main struggle, most of life, in ordinary life, our main struggle is not to look for clarity. The most of us, our main struggle, we have the fear regarding the death. That is the main struggle that we go through. And most of people become disciplined to postpone the death or escape from the death. Not to get into the truth, not to become closer to the truth. So we have the discipline based with the fear. When you look at the world, and today we say, don't do this, don't do that. And the most of people don't do it. Why? Because they're afraid they're going to die. Not because of the deeper understanding. What is the process of this? So then when you have the fear-based something, how it can take you to understanding? Because the fear, when you have fear-based any thoughts, it always separate from the truth. Separate from the truth. It happened from from the beginning of the civilizations. That is where within these 5,000 years of 10,000 years of the human history, from today to backward, and all these religions and the philosophers and everybody came within these 10,000 years. The one of the ancient is Vedas and this all the Mahabharata and this all this and the Greek philosophy and East and Western, all the philosophy. And when you look, it all happened within 10,000 years. So within these 10,000 years, the people have a struggle and people have an idea, people have the purpose to get into the reality. But before that, we have the mostly stay away from the death, the fear. So still we have, even though that when we look at the very nature of the world, mechanism of the world, mostly We all trying to deal with our life to stay away from the death. And why? Why you have to live? What is the very purpose of living? Why you have to stay away from the death? So if you don't understand, if you not get into the truth or the direct perception or the clear experience with the nature, your living itself, it's become kind of like a misery, because it's kind of like become a habit, and you go through a pattern and you repeat it and repeat, and in that repetition your consciousness shut down. When you repeat something, there is no awareness. When there is no awareness, if person live without awareness, when a person live without awareness, that person dead. The heart can function, but that person is dead. There is no real living being. So that is what the fear does to us, or same thing. Because when you have the fear, that become a struggle itself, you to escape from reality. And then this all, when you become detached from the reality, you have fear regarding the death, and you try to cover it from different angles. And that is one of the thing is called intellectual study. Studying never take you to the truth. Look at the world. And sometimes you start to think, look at the world. That today our study part is different and our doing part is completely different. So when you are study something, and when you are intellectually develop something, and then why you need another advisor or somebody else to do something out of your wisdom, whatever the knowledge you have. Because the very nature of the truth, when you experience truth, there is no separation from you and the truth. You become itself the truth. And then your very being itself doing. There is no understanding and doing. So, but in day-to-day life now, what is we does? We try to understand something separately, and then we try to apply that understanding in a different circumstances, in different environment. It doesn't work. Because in this very moment, what you understanding itself is applying, that you living means you applying your understanding to very this moment. So what you understand intellectually in this very moment as a theory, you cannot apply it to another situation. And so then what is happening? Why we go with this intellectual? Why we go with the intellectual? Because your mind detached from the reality because of the fear, and based with the fear, the based with the death, and it detached from the reality, cover up that, and you try to do many other things. And one thing is intellectual. You try to keep knowingly lot of things, and you then bound to ideas and the patterns and the methods, you screwed up your life. And then whoever in front of you even yourself, you're not going to recognize. And look how the psychologists can suicide themselves. what is the where that it can happen? How the school teacher can suicide? What does that mean? What it says? When how the school teacher can depress? Do you know what is the outcome going to happen? If a school teacher depressed, disappointed, unhappy, angry, do you know what is the outcome going to happen? If the religious leader become, or the monks or the guru or the pastor or the priest or anybody, if that person become greedy, do you know what is the outcome going to happen? So when we intellectually develop, when we detach from the reality, that is what happening. So then the very nature of the truth, there is no duality, experiencer and the truth. So when it comes to truth, when you see the truth, when you see the change, there is no experiencer and the change. The both become one. You change. When the day comes for you to recognize that, that is the day you start to come above this worldly nature and start to experience the life without the touching the water. So it is a process. Step by step you have to go. But deeper, you have to question yourself. And why we living? If you live with the fear of the death, it is not living. Remember that. Because that fear itself detach you from the real being itself called life. And another thing is that is where people go with all these outside things. And people look for love and depending from love and security because of this, the fear. We're trying to cover up it. And the sensual desires, this all cover up for our deeper inherent fear. But when you see the truth, when you become clear with the truth, in the deeper level, you start to get connected to things and you are not separate. Itself, you're not looking for love because you become love. It is two different things. Just think to yourself, when you look for love and when you become love, how different it is. Can you understand that? When you look for wisdom and you become the wisdom. When you look for freedom, you are the freedom. When you look for truth, you become the truth. So see where the difference. Look yourself. Exercise, because that exercise make you discipline. That discipline is go towards the recognition of the wisdom and the direct perception with the nature. That is called Dharma. That is where the mind become very clear and pure. So that is where we trying to navigate our life. So for that, it is up to you. It is your choice. Because what I say, you no need to do that. But once you hear it, it is up to you to think a little bit and see. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe one day, and you may need this. So that day, once you heard this, it's going to be there with you. And at least one day when you know there is something like this, And then you start to look for that. So remember then yourself, deeper, that fear-based, the whatever the activities is never going to take us to wisdom. So it is better to rescue your mind from this fear for death. It's happening from little ways and slowly, little by little. And that's why getting to the clarity. When you are clearly see something, when you are clearly experience, when you are clearly understand something, there is no fear. So that's why when you practice meditation, be very clear with your experience. When you hear something, when you smell, eat, taste something, and when even you think yourself, become very sharp and clear, little by little, and then you will see in this very moment there is no fear. When there is no fear with regarding the death, the half of the journey you done. So with that, there was a student, and he looked for mastering sword. And he then heard about the samurai and living in a high mountain area. So he went to see this master and bowed to the master and told, Master, I came to learn sword. So can you teach me? So the master asked, before you come here, where you learn? Who's your teacher? The student told, no, I didn't have any teacher. But the master told, no, I don't believe. Because I can see you had some studies. The student told, no, I didn't have any studies. I don't have a teacher. You are the only one I just met. So then the master asked about his history and tell me the history. So then again, he start to explain about this. Then the master asked, why you decide to practice the sword? Because there is a well-known famous saying, the sword can kill the person and sword can protect the person. It's related to the ego. Ego is the one we protect, and ego is, once we let go the ego, there is no we, ourselves. So then the master told in the ordinary idea, and why you select the sword? Because do you know the danger with it? It going to end you or it going to protect you? So then this student told, when I was a child, one day I was going to school, then I saw very old man, and so that day he was so hungry. I had my lunch with me. So then I offered the lunch, and because I saw this old man is kind of like a beggar and was so hungry, and I offered. So then this old man told, you offered me the lunch and you saved my life, and I have to give something. But I don't have anything because I am a beggar. But there is something I can give, and one day it may help you. And then the student was so happy because children like to get always something. And then the student, yeah, you can give me. So whatever you can give me. So then this old man told to this child, don't have fear for death. So it kind of like for this child, it's like a rainbow appeared, and it start to lighten inside him, and he start to look, what is this death? And from that day, Every day when other people run away from the death, this child start to go towards it and look for it. What this is, what this is. And then the one day, he didn't have any fear for death. So then the child, this student told, I don't have any fear for death. So that's why I select the sword. And then the master told, you are already mastered the sword and you don't need any teachings. So in our life, we also same like that. So our ego is kind of like a sword. It sometimes protects us and it can kill us. And when the day comes for you yourself, if you are able to with your swordship to kill your ego, that is where your liberation or the enlightenment happen. So with that, I bless upon with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata chammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.